to know how virtual machine instances are created. When we create a virtual machine instance, we can quickly set up hosting server, which is an Apache web server we can host, and we can push our applications on Apache server, which are capable of receiving GET request and POST request. And depending on these requests, they are going to respond with a web page to the client browser, and client will be able to see the web application. He will be able to interact with it. While he interacts, whatever inputs he will be providing in, the inputs will be processed with the machine learning model, which we have created using Python. On process, we are going to get a response in return, and this response we are going to display on a web page. So that's what we're going to design in. So it's going to be a house price prediction system. Finally, you will be having a web product which will be available on a URL hosted on Google Cloud Platform. So that's what we will be doing in. In order to accomplish this objective, we would be needing certain tools and certain prerequisites, which are very important, so that you understand that how actually a real-time product is set up in the real world environment and how it is utilized by various users all over the world. So that's what we are going to do. So I'm sharing my screen with all the participants. Just an acknowledgement. I would like to welcome all the participants, including Mr. Sumit Dhama, Mr. Yash Sharma. I see Sanika here, Ravi from Noida, Agam, Akansha, Himanshu, Hussain. Welcome all. Let's get started with our implementation of house price prediction system web application. And we will be deploying this application on Google Cloud Platform. We will be integrating our house price prediction system model with a web application so that we can make a usable product for users who can reach out to our website, can use our machine learning application. Okay. Now, so let's go for it. So the way we will be integrating our machine learning model can be utilized with various other applications. You can design different applications, you can design different mathematical models and machine learning models, and you can integrate them in order to have a new product or a web project. So let's go ahead. So here I am sharing my screen with all the participants. Okay, so let's get started. I will be explaining objectives of today's session. So the broad objective is to design and develop a house price prediction system. Okay. Now, the best part of today's session is you're going to have an end-to-end implementation of a live project, okay, for consumers. So consumers will be able to use your website. They will be able to input their information onto the website. Website will collect the information, will give it to a machine learning model. Machine learning is going to predict an outcome for you, and you will be using that outcome for integration with the web application, and that outcome will be displayed to the consumer. So the application type which we will be designing will be a web application. The technologies which we are using for today's session: for server-side technology, we will be using PHP backend programming language. So we will be using PHP programming language for server-side logic. Our machine learning model will be written in Python programming language. Then if I talk about client side, then I will be using great designs from CSS3, HTML5. I would be using one of the fantastic enterprise resource which we use for designing web application, and this is known as, I will be sharing details with all of you so that you will get to know how we can make up cool designs. So we are going to use enterprise level solutions for websites using designmodo. We will be using designmodo, enterprise level web application designing. And there will be certain other scripting languages which we will be using for designing, which includes Bootstrap, Jquery, that we will be using for communication of the data and for animations and various other things. So these technologies rising in. Apart from that, time duration required to build this project. So tentatively, this project will take up to 5 to 6 hours. So we are going to distribute these 5 to 6 hours in 3 sessions of 2 hours each. So tentatively, we will be completing this project between 4th Feb to 6th Feb. So within these 3 days, tentatively on an investment of around 5 to 6 hours, inclusive of all the 3 days, you will be ready with this project. So you will be ready with the following things. You will be ready with the designs. You will be ready with the models. You will be ready with the integration. You will be ready with hosting the application. Okay. So this is going to be an end-to-end solution which we will be designing in. Now, whenever we get started with designing of an application, when we design software or a web product, generally follow an approach. So the approach which we follow is Agile Software Development Approach. So this is very important, which you guys need to understand. So we will be following Agile approach for software development. And one of the most important factor which Agile offers is development of customer satisfactory products. Okay. So our main goal is to develop a product which is customer satisfactory. So let's say we are all a team of 5 to 7 people who will be working on this project under an Agile software development methodology, wherein we'll be communicating over tools and processes over these 3 days, 4th Feb, 5 Feb, and 6th Feb. So our major objectives which we will be accomplishing in using agility, you can communicate over tools, communication over process and tools we will be doing in. So as I have already told you, the process which I will be using is an Agile software development process, which we will be doing in. And there will be certain more things which we will be doing in under the process. So my first part of the process will be, I will be performing configuration. Let's call it as setup and configuration we will be doing in. And this is going to be the server side setup. So we are going to start from here. The tools which you would be needing in for this session, you will be needing Google Collaboratory, okay, for Python model. Python model. This will be the tool for development of the model. For hosting, we will be using Google Cloud Platform, which is available on the website console.cloud.google.com. This offers you get access to Google Cloud Platform using a free account, which generally charge $1. So you can get started with Google Cloud Platform. I have already set up an account. If you want to have a view of how to set up a Google Cloud Platform, we will be sharing a video resource post this session so that you can get started with creation of your accounts. So we will be using this tool. Moreover, Google Collaboratory will be used for this. And generally for designing web application, I use the following IDEs. So I will be using designmodo, web generator, and I will be using another tool which I use for use brackets integrated development environment, which is pretty lightweight and it's utilized well. So if my voice is audible to everyone, just let me know on chat so that I can continue well. In the meantime, if anybody has any questions, keep posting your questions on the comment box. I will be answering to all these questions live in the session. Consider yourself as a team member who is developing this product with us. So we will be using pair programming, wherein we will be collaborating on development of the Python model and designing, and we'll be doing a lot of stuff so that you can have an end-to-end product ready with machine learning model integrated into it. So at the end, you all will be having a web application which is enabled with machine learning. So these will be the tools which we will be using in for brackets. IDE will be for designing the web application. Moreover, since we will be writing simple codes, you can also edit that with Notepad. That won't be a big issue. So that's what we will be doing in. And tentatively, some intermediate tools which will be generally used during our development of this project will be SSH tools. So SSH actually stands for Secure Shell. And using Secure Shell, we can get access to the Google Cloud Platform. Using SSH, we access Server Console. So you can execute your commands on a remote server, which is hosted on Google Cloud Platform using SSH. So you're going to understand what that is. So first thing will be communication over process and tools we will be doing in. Then let's say if you consider yourself as customers, so customer interactions over contract negotiation will be there in Agility. So you guys can always post your suggestions about what designs we should be taking up, and in order to ease the web application, in order to have a better user experience, we can always have an interaction and we can update the product. Apart from that, whenever your product is artificially intelligent, then it's like pretty capable of taking very least information from the user and doing a lot of complex things automatically. So we'll be doing that stuff. So customer interactions over contract negotiation. Moreover, we will be preferring software development over documentation. So as you all can see, we have not made any rigorous documentation. Instead, we are preferring software development over the level of information which is available to us. So the information which is available to us with respect to the project is we have to develop a house price prediction system. And to develop a house price prediction system, we have already done an analysis on Boston housing data set, wherein we identified that there are certain factors which are responsible in prediction of the price, and we can accurately predict the price of the house 95% mathematically. So with 95% accuracy, we can predict the price of the house when we have certain information like lot size, bathrooms, driveway, gas, hot water, certain things about the house is available to us, we can predict it. So that we will be doing in, and our approach will always be there so that we are ready for changes. Okay, so we are ready for changes as far as development of a customer satisfactory product is concerned. So that's what is Agile, which we will be following in development of the software development lifecycle. So generally, we can use Scrum, Agility. Moreover, you can also go for pair programming, and there are various other Agile software development methodologies available, which we will be covering up. So the final objective is to get started with a house price prediction system. So let's go ahead for this. So let me just explain you quickly that what all we will be covering up here. Using the simulator, I will be designing. Let me just quickly give you an example what all we will be needing in. So we will be having a network cloud, we'll be having a server machine, we will be having a client machine. Let's say there will be multiple clients who will be accessing our server. Then we will be having a network which is connected to each other. Now over this network, we have to work out and we have to identify how we are going to make this application. So since this is going to be a real-time product, so since you guys are going to design a real-time product, let's call it as a house price prediction model. We're going to design a house price prediction system, which will be hosted on the server here. And now let's see. So what we will be having we are going to have this network. Let me just do one more thing so that we can draw. Great, yeah. So we will be designing in a house price prediction system. And let me just quickly connect the important things. So let's say we are connected with a network cloud, and the network cloud is connected with a remote machine. Okay. First of all, whenever we get started with development of software development of a web application, generally we focus towards the server side, because when we consider server side, we have to identify what all languages, what all tools, and what all systems we have to use in. So here we are going to make use of Google Cloud Platform at the server side. Google Cloud Platform is accessible through console.cloud.google.com, which you can quickly get a free account for certain duration, so that you will be able to test your applications free of cost on Google Cloud Platform. That's what we will be doing in. We are going to create a Linux instance here. So we are going to create, let's say, a project on GCP. So individually, when we work out on a real-time product development with Google Cloud Platform, we need to create a project. Sometimes you need to select an organization also. Now, when you create a project, within that project, you're going to create a virtual machine. Okay. This virtual machine is going to be your server. So virtual machine type will be a Linux machine. So I'm going to use a Linux machine with Ubuntu operating system installed on it. So guys, for your information, we will be using Linux machine, and this is going to be an Ubuntu operating system, which we will be taking up. Okay. Now, so you're going to have a virtual machine created with Ubuntu operating system. Then you will be taking up certain features within this virtual machine. So you have to enable Firewall to port 80, which is going to be our web server port. Okay, you're going to enable the Firewall. After enabling the Firewall, you're going to access virtual machine using SSH. You're going to access it. Once you have got access to the virtual machine, you're going to update the virtual machine. Okay. And you will be doing that using a command sudo apt get update. And this will help you update your virtual machine. Post that, we are going to install Apache Server on a virtual server. So you're going to get an end-to-end process, like how a server gets created, how we install an operating system on Google Cloud Platform, then how we are going to install servers on it, and each and everything you'll get to know in this. So you're going to install Apache Server, you're going to install PHP 7.0 and modules which connect Apache Server with PHP, so that your Apache servers are able to execute PHP codes. So that's what we are going to install. And post that, we will install Anaconda Navigator. Anaconda with Python 3.7 on server. So these are a few things which you will be doing initially as soon as we start this session. So this is going to be the first part which we need to complete in. So guys, you all can make a note of it. I have just saved this image on our machine. So let me just quickly show you what exactly you guys would be needing in. So I've cleared all the drawings, and just to show you guys, we'll be doing this stuff. So we are building a house price prediction system on which over the server side, we will be doing certain things. So we are going to create this virtual machine first over cloud platform, and we are going to set up certain information here. Okay, let's go for it. So is my voice audible to everyone appropriately? Please confirm me on the chat. Okay, so now let's go to our application. So as the steps are concerned, so get started with virtual machine on Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so let's browse to the URL console.cloud.google.com. You need to have an account. I already have a username and password for this account, so I'll be using that. And moreover, if you guys need to access console.cloud.google.com, you all can have an account on Google Cloud Platform, which is free of cost initially, but you need to have a credit card or a debit card so as to sign up for that account. So I'm taking you to Google Cloud Platform. So when we go to console.cloud.google.com, you're going to get an interface wherein you have to log in to an account. And let me just quickly get access to the account information. So I'm stopping the share for a moment so that I can quickly get access to our personal accounts using which we can access. You need to give me a moment. So by the time you guys can browse to console.cloud.google.com and you can get an account created. Okay, so guys, I will be logging in to my account here. I'm again sharing the screen with all the participants. So here I will be using my account yashcloud24@gmail.com. When I log into this account, it will ask me for a password. So you can log in with your Gmail account. Once you log into Gmail account, you have to get access to Google Cloud Platform, which will nearly charge you $1 for 1 year. And this $1 is also refundable. So it will automatically be received in your account once your verification is done. So as you see here, when we reach to Google Cloud Platform, on the left-hand side at the top, there is a hamburger menu, which we call as navigation menu. Over navigation menu, you will be able to see a lot of options like marketplace, billing, API services, support, which Google Cloud Platform has to offer. But what we need is, as of now, we need compute support, compute services from Google Cloud, so that Google Cloud Platform can offer us computing services wherein it can compute our get and post requests, it can compute our mathematical models in order to give us the predictions. So in compute services, you can automatically create applications and you can deploy applications here. But moreover, I would be interested in more custom thing which gives me more power. So I would like to get started with a compute engine wherein I will be creating my own virtual machine. And using this virtual machine, I will have full access to install and configure that machine. So generally, when we get started with an application, and if we need to make use of complete power of the computer or the virtual machine, then it's always a good idea to get started with a compute engine. So compute engine offers you various services. The first service which offer is to create virtual machine instances. So VM here stands for virtual machine instances. So what exactly is going to happen? On Google Cloud Platform, you're going to get a virtual machine created, simulated over a real central processing unit. You will get access to that virtual machine and you're going to install your application within the virtual machine. This is the similar concept with respect to virtualization as you see VirtualBox and VMware softwares when you install it in your local machines. So similarly, Google Cloud Platform offers you this opportunity wherein it helps you create virtual machine instances. So what we are going to do now, let's quickly click on VM instances. And we have to get started with creation of virtual machine instances in the project. Moreover, as we see here, we have got virtual machine instances here. For the very first time when you log into your project, it may generally ask you to create a project as well. So if it asks you to create a project, there is an option at the top here, just adjacent to Google Cloud Platform, wherein you can go to new project and you can quickly create a project. Generating a project will not make any difference as such. It is just to categorize your projects in with respect to organizations or with respect to departments, which can help you manage multiple projects. But since if it is your first project, then that won't be a big issue. You can consider one project and within that project, you can have multiple virtual machines and depending on that requirement. So I have selected a random project. The compute engine is getting ready. As soon as it gets ready, I'm going to create a virtual machine instance using the create option available over here. So by the time, let's quickly go through with the definition which compute engine has to offer. So compute engine lets you use virtual machines that run on Google's infrastructure. Okay. You can create micro virtual machines of larger instances running Debian operating system or else or Windows or other standard operating system images. You can create your first virtual machine instance, import it using migration service, or try the quick start to build a sample application. So we are going to get started with a cloud virtual machine. As soon as the instance is ready, as soon as our create button gets highlighted, we are going to click on it and we are going to get started with creation of the virtual machines. So we need to wait for a couple of minutes wherein our compute engine gets ready. Now, as you see here, our compute engine is now ready and our create button has been enabled. So either we can get started with creation of a new virtual machine using a quick start menu. In case if you already have experience with virtual machine and you already hold certain virtual machines on Google Cloud Platform, and in case if you want to import them in your project, you can use the import option also. Okay. Now, so let's go to the create option within Google Cloud Platform. When we click on create instance, it will ask you certain information while creating the new virtual machine instance. So the first thing you see here is we have started creation of virtual machine instances and there are certain options. You can create a new virtual machine instance from scratch. You can create a new virtual machine instance from a template, which means there could be some standard virtual machine templates available with certain installation of softwares. So you can also select them, or else you can search for custom templates from the marketplace. Okay. So nowadays, this option is pretty popular because there are many software developers or operating system developers, those who create operating system images, they integrate certain solutions pre-installed into that operating system, and they release those images in the marketplace. So one good example is Kali Linux, if you have heard about it. So Kali Linux is an operating system with ethical hacking tools and scripts available pre-installed in that operating system. So whenever you use Kali Linux, whenever you take it from marketplace, it automatically gets installed on Google Cloud Platform with all the scripts required for ethical hacking and cybersecurity, and you can quickly get started with using that operating system. So these options are pretty popular, but today we will be using create a single VM instance from the scratch. So in order to do that, the first information we have to provide in is the instance. So this is going to be the name of the instance so that you can identify your virtual machine. You can keep this instance project specific. You always have to use lowercase letters, and you cannot use underscore or any special symbol. Only dashes are allowed. So let's see. Let's just clear this and let's get started with specifying the name of the instance. So my first instance will be my house price project. Okay. So I could take a name similar to house price project or something like this, so that I will get to see my house price prediction system created under this virtual machine. Okay. So I have selected a name. Moreover, you can quickly see that the name must start with a lowercase letter, followed by up to 62 lowercase letters, numbers, or hyphens, and cannot end with a hyphen. So this is the naming convention for creation of the instance. I've got a chat message. Let me just respond your questions side by side. So guys, if you have any questions during the session, all the participants, those who are connected with Facebook Live, you can quickly post your questions in the comments box, and I will see to your questions and will answer your questions at the same time. So I've got a question from Mr. Awad, I guess. If I use Ubuntu, what can I do? Definitely, I'll tell you how we use Ubuntu and what can we do. So we'll tell you that. So now you need to select the region. Now this is very important when you select your operating system or your instance in what region you would like to create. Okay. So let me just quickly give you an explanation to in what region you should be creating in. Okay. So what you can do is, in case if you want, you can quickly open something like a cloud map kind of stuff. Okay. So you can have cloud server world map. Okay. You can take that from Google or Amazon or anyone, wherein you will get certain quick information. So as you see here, I've got, let's say, some dedicated server kind of an images here. So this image is taken just for explanation purposes. You don't need to worry about. So this image is going to be an example image, which I will be taking in just to make you explain that how you should select the server. So let's say if I open this image in a new tab here, and if I make it a little big. So here, as you can see, over when you have to select the server, so there are many regions which are available. You can create your virtual machine in a server hosted at Taiwan, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Mumbai, Singapore, Sydney, Finland, Belgium, London, Frankfurt, and there are so many countries and regions you see. Okay. So now you have to be very specific about what kind of targeting you are doing. So you should always consider your customer base who will be accessing your application. So let's say if my customers are from India, let's say, so it would always be easy for me to have a server near to India. So let's say in Maharashtra, we have a server of Google Cloud Platform. So all the users who are in India will be easily able to access in less duration of time for the services which we are offering from Mumbai, instead of for the services we are offering from a server which is pretty far away from here. So this is generally going to take a lot of time in receiving the request and in response to the request. So it's always a good idea to select a server which is nearest to the region of your customer's interest, because that will help you load up applications pretty fast. And there are so many more benefits of using a server which is nearby in your region. So in case if there is a question, let's say if somebody has to specify the customers available over this region, so it's always going to be difficult for them to access the application from Mumbai server, and they will always prefer to have the application hosted on a nearby server. Okay. So guys, what you all can do is, if you have to satisfy requirements of different continents or else different countries and different cities, then it's always a good idea to have a replication of your projects hosted on different virtual machines, which are enabled in different regions. So that could be like a better option for all of you, so as to serve the requirements of the people of your customer base pretty well. So as we are set up in Canada, we would be searching for a machine nearby Canada. And in case if I'm targeting my Indian audience, I would be taking a server which is near to Indian consumers. So that's what we'll be doing it. Okay. So I hope you got the point that how you should select the servers. Now, so let's say I would be selecting a server which is in Asia South 1, Mumbai. Okay. This is going to be nearest for me, as I'm in India as of now, and I'm scheduling this application from here. So all the people, those who will be targeting my application, will be accessing this application from Mumbai server. And in case if I want to give it to Canada, then definitely I'll be taking up something nearby Canada, and I'll check the region and I'll see which place is near to Canada. I'll be taking up that server as well in the next VM instance. So let's say, so I've selected Mumbai, and within Mumbai, we have 3 regions, C, B, and A. So there will be 3 different regions, 3 different zones wherein you can select your virtual machine. So you can choose either one because that hardly makes a difference. So let's select the zone. So a zone is an isolated location within a region. The zone determines what computing resources are available and where your data is stored and used. So as of now, I'm not really sure that in what region my data has to be stored. So I can select any of the zone. But as of the region is concerned, a region is a specific geographical location where you can run your resources. So I will be running my house prediction system resource as well as using the virtual machine resource on Mumbai region. Now, once we're done with that, you can quickly select certain options like how many central processing units you would be needing in. For machine learning big applications, Google Cloud Platform offers you create virtual machines with 8 central processing units with 7.2 GB memory, 7.2 GB RAM that can be used. So that's the maximum which is available. There is one more option with 8 central processing units with 32 GB memory and 8 central processing units with 52 GB random access memory. So let's say this is one of the highest configuration which you can always take up, but it will definitely charge you as per the services you are utilizing in. So in case if you don't want your free trial to expire soon, I generally prefer to go with a smaller central processing unit. Moreover, since our project is going to be a limited project with less number of data, so we don't need a big virtual central processing unit as of now. So I will be taking up one virtual central processing unit. But in case, let's say if we have to expand, if we have to scale our project in future, so we will always have this option to change central processing unit. So Google offers you this scalability option wherein you can quickly increase your scale of requirements and you can always decrease your scale of requirements in case if you don't need the resources. So it's all pay as you go kind of scenario which you can utilize here. So let's say I have selected one central processing unit and this will be having 3.75 GB memory. In case if you want to customize it, you can always customize your memory. You can always customize your machine type. Moreover, you can upgrade your account to create instances with up to 96 cores. You can have 96 core central processing units with 52 GB of RAM installed in each. So that's going to be a pretty huge configuration which we can utilize for machine learning. Now, once we're done with that, so then there are some container VM instances which you can read about them. So you can deploy the container to this virtual machine instance by using a container optimized operating system image, but that's not required. A general purpose operating system will solve my issue. So I'll generally bring a Linux operating system. don't need a doing it. So new 10 GB standard persistent disk I will be taking in. In case if you want to change the operating system, you can click on change and you can see what all operating systems are available. So as I have already told you, there are so many operating systems available here. You can see Debian, CentOS, CentOS 7, core operating system, Ubuntu 14.4, 16.4, 18.4. And then you have Red Hat operating systems available. You have open source Linux available. You have Windows servers available with Windows Server 2019 data center options are available. One good thing is all these are licensed operating system images, so you will not land up into licensing issues. It's all the idea to get started with a new operating system with cloud platforms, and you will get access to the licensed product. Moreover, here you can see that there are certain optimized deep learning images also available. Deep learning image with PyTorch installed. There are so many with deep learning with TensorFlow and CUDA already installed. These are Debian based images. So there are custom images also available for configuration of your projects over these machine learning enabled images. Moreover, there are application images available, custom images available, which you can quickly search from your project in case if you have any. So I will be taking up the default Debian GNU Linux 9, the stretch version. It's going to be a 64-bit machine. So I will select Debian Linux 9 stretch version, which is the default version. So when I select this, then you have this option to select the disk type. So you can always take a persistent disk, or else you can use an SSD drive also. So maximum disk size which you can take is 65,536 GB. That's the maximum size of disk you can take up. But again, so if you take up an SSD drive, which is a solid state drive, so it's going to be a little more costly, and I don't need a very fast SSD drive as of now for my project. My project can work on standard persistent disk also. So I will be going with a default size of 10 GB, but you can maximize this up till 65,536 GB of hard disk available on your virtual machine server. So that's how you can see. So you can get started with a virtual machine with 96 cores of 52 GB RAM installed in each core, followed by you can have a hard disk, which could be maximum 65,536 gigabytes. And that's what options are available with Google Cloud Platform. Moreover, there are more options available with Amazon virtual machines and web services. So you can always explore EC2 options as well while creating and exporting project on an industrial level. Now, once all these options have been identified and selected, now we are going to go to the next option. So the identity and API access. So we will get a default service now. Let this be selected. We are going to allow the default access to all the people. That's great. Here it is asking for firewall. So I would allow HTTP traffic and I will allow HTTPS traffic. I need to tell you about enabling all the ports for the project also, and that I will be doing once we are ready with the setup. So I'll again take you here so that you will be able to configure the firewall part as well. In case if you quickly want to see the firewall part as of now, you can quickly click on this option so that you can always maintain the configurations while creating the virtual machine. So I've allowed HTTP and HTTPS traffic. I have gone to networking here. Networking, I'm going in so as to manage the firewall rules and to allow incoming connections to the virtual machine, which I will be creating in. So what does that actually mean? So it means, so let's say there will be many consumers who will be sending in requests through the network cloud to our virtual machine. Okay. So initially what Google Cloud Platform does, it keeps a firewall so that connections does not reach to the virtual machine. So in this firewall, once you allow access to port number 80, if you allow access to port 80, let's say, so then your connection will actually reach out to port number 80 on the web server and the web application will be accessible. So for that, we need to allow the firewall rules. So that I will be doing in. Let me just take you there. And I guess there are certain questions along with the session. So I am answering these questions as well. So I have got one message here. Okay. Great, great. So let's continue from here. Now what next we will be doing in. So with the networking, now what I would like to do is, I would like to go to the default network interfaces here. Here is the default network interface which you need to configure in. So when you configure this, you can access your ports and you can allow, disallow your incoming ports and outgoing connections here within this default network. So let's just do it. So I'm going to click on this default network. When you go to the default network, you can see that there will be certain options here. So here is the default network, which you will be selecting and which you have to modify in as soon as we progress further. So we are going to define the network properties as soon as our virtual machine is ready. So now let's go to the bottom and let's create the virtual machine server. So when you create the virtual machine server here, you all can see you're going to get your first instance created, which is a house price. So when you will be creating, you can be pretty quick and it hardly takes a minute to get started with a new virtual machine. Since I was explaining you all the important information which you need to specify in order to create a new machine on Google Cloud Platform, it has taken a couple of minutes. But if you are getting started with a new virtual machine, it's hardly a matter of 1 minute to get started with a new project and to get started with a new virtual machine. So as you see here, I've got a house price project created and I've got this machine ready. So let me quickly check back with the image which we are considering. Now, so our this house price project is created. Now we need to access this virtual machine. Now, as you see here, there are certain information available. This is hosted on this zone. This is the internal IP address. That's not required for us as of now. This is the public IP address, which is pretty important. So this external IP is the IP using which your consumers will be able to access your application. Okay. So you can always click on this, browse to this IP address, and you can see what's happening. So now, as of now, what I want is I will be sharing this IP address with all the participants, 35.244.45.129, and let all participants try access this. So when you access this, as of now, you're going to get an empty list. So if I open new link here, so you can see that this site cannot be reached now because we don't have a server listening at the server side and we don't have an application hosted on it. Hence, we are receiving this error. So now we're going to understand that how we are going to start up a virtual machine, how we are going to set up a server on the virtual machine, and how we are going to deploy sample application which will be accessible when we browse to this IP address 35.244.45.129. Let's go for it. So now, as of now, how will you be accessing your house price project virtual machine? As you see here, there is an option known as connect with secure shell. So you guys will be clicking on this option, connect with secure shell, and you will be able to access it. Apart from SSH, there are other options. You can open this SSH in browser. You can also connect with gcloud command, and you can also use putty SSH client or any other secure shell client to connect to the host. Okay. So I would be happy to open it in a browser window. So I'll go with the default option. I'll click on SSH. And when I click on SSH, you can see that a new window has been popped up wherein SSH keys are now being transmitted from server side to my browser. so that the connection can be established between my browser and the Google Cloud Server. So once you see that, now you have got this access on ssh.cloud.google.com. Okay, guys. So this is our Linux operating system. Let me just quickly explain you certain information. So here is the RSA fingerprint, which has been used for authentication and authorization. This is a Linux machine. The name of this Linux machine is House Price Prediction System. The Linux version which we are using is 4.9 Linux version, which is an AMD 64-bit machine. So this is Debian 4.9.130. It's an x86 64 machine, which means you can easily run 32-bit and 64-bit softwares on this machine. Now, the username with which we are currently logged in is yeshcloud24. This is the default username of your email account with which you have created your account. Okay. And at House Price Project, so this is the name of the instance. So whatever instance you will be creating in, that instance will be reflected over here. And here you can see that we see a $, prompt, which says we are a limited user as of now, and we can get started with writing our commands on this Linux server machine here. So guys, let me quickly take you to these options and let's see what we have. So the first thing which you can quickly do is you can quickly check uname-a, just quickly check Linux information, which has already been displayed to you. So this is the information about your Linux machine. Now what we are going to do. The first step is to update your Linux server. Okay. To update your Linux server, we're going to execute a command sudo apt get update. Okay. So that's what we're going to do in sudo apt get update. And let me quickly save this information on my browser, on my machine, so that you guys will be able to watch it. And before that, let me also show you the steps which have been completed till now. So as of now, if you guys see, we have got access to console.cloud.google.com. We got a project created on Google Cloud Platform. We created a virtual machine. We selected the Linux machine, wherein we selected the Debian operating system. You can also select Ubuntu or any other operating system. Just you need to know the right commands to access those operating systems so that you will be easily able to install your required softwares. Then what you have to do, I have to enable Firewall, which we have already done with allowing HTTP and HTTPS traffic. There is one more port number 80, which we will be allowing a couple of minutes from now. Then I have got access to virtual machine using SSH. That's what you have already done. And we have reached to this step, update the virtual machine so that all the latest packages gets installed on our machine. So let's go for it. So I'm going to update my machine now. Let me just clear all these statements from here. And let me just take you to this. Okay, so let's get update, sudo apt get update. When you update, you can see that all the latest packages will be installed in your machine. By the time this gets installed, let me answer the chat messages. So guys, I have got certain message like, what's the procedure for Azure? So with Microsoft Azure, you can quickly go for it, wherein you can get started with an account on Microsoft Azure. You need to have a Microsoft account. You can register a free account on outlook.com. Then you can go with creation of Azure virtual machines. So that's also a very interactive interface. We do have a video record set up, so we can post that video record once we are done with the session. Kavita, Kirti, Atyam, we will be sharing you that information. Moreover, it's pretty well documented on Azure website. So you can quickly reach out to Microsoft Azure, get started with a free account, wherein in the same way you have to specify your credit card or debit card so as to get an account on Azure. And it is going to offer you something around 12,000 rupees of credit for 1 year And as soon as you are done with utilizing all your credits, then you can always switch to the paid account on Azure Cloud. So all these options are available over Windows Azure, Microsoft Azure as well. So I've got yes, manage. Can you provide link to this? So would you like, can you elaborate your question a little more, Kavita? Can you provide the link? I would like to know what link you need in. So the link for Google Cloud, which we're using, is console.cloud.google.com. And for Azure, you can quickly type in on Google Microsoft Azure, you will directly get that account, that link. And now there is one more message. There is a lag in between. Please check. What can I check? The lag is due to internet. It's pretty natural. Okay. So let's continue from here now. So just to acknowledge with all the people, guys, just let me know if my voice is audible to all the participants. If you have any questions till now, please ask me. You guys just need to give me a moment. Let me just quickly connect with another network so that okay. So am I audible now? Just confirm me if I'm audible, everyone. I have changed my network connection. I hope I am audible to everyone now appropriately. So just let me know so that I can continue from here. So just a quick recap. By the time you all acknowledge me, if my voice is audible to everyone, we have reached to this step of updating Linux machine. So I have updated using this command sudo apt get update. And here, if I show you the image of what all process we have done, so we have reached till now. So we have got an account on Console Cloud. We created a project on GCP. We created a virtual machine. We selected a Linux machine, which is Debian 9 stretch version, which is Linux 4.9. We have enabled the firewall. We access the virtual machine using SSH, and we have updated the server. So till now, we have accomplished our objectives. Now, what next we will be doing in? So over this server, we are going to install an Apache server with PHP facilities available, and Apache will be able to execute PHP with the live Apache module. So we will be working out on it as well. So to do that, I have to specify in a command so that you will be able to install Apache server on cloud with PHP facilities. Let's go for it. You can always use Python Django as well in case if you are a Python programmer, but there are a lot of queries which I have got related to PHP. So I've got a lot of requests that I should take up this session with PHP as well. So I'm taking our today's session with PHP as the backend programming language, and I will be integrating that with Python. So don't worry about it. So guys, so here, as of now, let's quickly get back to the server machine. And let's see what you will be doing next. So here, let's clear the instance and let's go for the next step. So here, I'm going to install Apache Server. So Apache Server is going to be responsible to receive the get and post request from the consumers. Okay. So when you receive a get and post request, then Apache is going to identify what resource consumer is needing in, and then it checks whether that resource is available in the file system. And once it gets the resource, it returns that response in a get response or in a post response back to the consumer. Consumer browser receives the response and it interprets the HTML or whatever content has been returned back. If it's an HTML content, then it is displayed on a web page and user gets to see your application. So let's see how we are going to install Apache Server. So to do that, we're going to do sudo apt get install. and I will be using Apache 2. So Apache Server I will be installing in. Apart from Apache, I also need PHP 7.0 version. So the backend server language for web development, which will be receiving get and post requests, and these post requests and get requests will be processed using PHP programming language as far as my current project for house price prediction system is concerned. So I will be installing PHP 7.0 version, and I will also lead a library for Apache, which will help me install modules for PHP. Okay, live Apache 2 mod PHP. This is going to be a library which is going to provide PHP modules for Apache library, for Apache server. So let's execute this statement. So once you execute, you can see that you're going to get around 95 MB of data downloaded on your machine. Okay. So if you specify Y, then you're going to get the response in return. So let's specify Y here and let's enter. So once we enter, now you can see that Apache server and PHP will now be installed on your web server. Now, once you get Apache server installed on your machine, you're going to quickly check whether Apache server is running. And once the Apache server is running, you can quickly check the default page hosted on it. And then we can modify the default page and we can use our own. Okay. So here, as you can see that our services has been installed for PHP and for Apache. Now I would like to check whether Apache is running or not. So I would be writing in the Linux commands here so that you guys will also be able to access. So let me just do it. Install Apache 2 and PHP. For this, we have this command sudo apt-get install PHP 7.0 Apache 2. You can install in any order, live Apache 2 mod PHP. Okay. So guys, so as you all can see, that's the command which will help you install Apache. And now what you have to do is you have to check the status. Check the status of Apache web server. So status as in whether the Apache server is running or not. That's what we need to check in. So to do this, you can use sudo run as a super user. You're going to access a command known as service command. And using service command, you're going to select the service Apache 2 and you're going to select the option status. Okay. So these will be the 4 things which we will be doing it. So the meaning, let me just quickly define the meaning of all these things which you will be taking up. So sudo would be something like known as run as a super user. Let me just define that here. So run as a super user. Okay. So this exactly means you're going to run commands with administrative privileges, or in Linux, we also call it as a root user. Okay. That's what you're going to do in it. Apart from that, the next command which you see here is a service command. So what is the meaning of service command? Let me just tell you. Service is a command to execute services in Linux OS. Okay. So services are commands or the programs, let's say. Services are the programs which does not have a user interface. They generally run in the background. Okay. So service is a command to execute services in Linux operating system. And Apache 2 is the service which you guys have using in. So this is the Apache 2 service which we have used in. And status is an optional parameter with which we are going to see whether this is running or not. Okay. So you can quickly do that. You can go for checking the services. And then what you can do is you can go for start the Apache 2 services. Okay. To start Apache 2 service, you can always write this command sudo service Apache 2 start. Okay. And in case somehow later, if you need to stop the Apache services, then you can always specify this command, sudo service Apache2 stop. So these are the certain commands which you guys will be needing in. So let's just quickly run this service and let's then check the status. So I'm going to start my service first. And once my service is started, I'm going to check the status of the service. So both the things we will be doing it. Okay, let's go for it. So here, let me go to our Linux server. Here on the Linux server, let's write in the command sudo service Apache2 start. Okay, when you start this, the service gets executed, and we are going to check sudo service Apache2 status. So when you check the Apache2 status, you can quickly see that the service is running. So here the Apache2 service is active and it is running since Monday Universal Time Zone 4 minutes 25 seconds ago. So it has recently been started, and you can see that our Apache server is started. Okay. So this Apache server will now be able to take web requests coming into the server and will be able to respond back to the requests coming from the clients. Okay. Let's go for it. Now, when you have started Apache server, what files will be displayed by default as soon as somebody will access this Apache server? Okay. To do that, you need to check in this directory cd/var/www. So this is the World Wide Web directory. So if I show you, www is a World Wide Web directory. Okay, and this is pretty important. All your web contents will be available within this directory. So www stands for World Wide Web directory, and all public accessible files should be hosted on /var/www. Okay. So Apache directory, whenever Apache receives a request, let's say if it is a GET request or if it is a POST request, so it checks for the resources within the World Wide Web HTML directory. So this is the directory wherein Apache directly checks for the files which are hosted with the Apache server. Okay. Now, so let's go for it. So you are here in World Wide Web, and let's just go to our HTML directory now. So within HTML, you see we have an index.html file available. ls actually stands for list all the files. So the command which you are seeing here, ls actually stands for list all the files, and there is an alternate option known as dir. You can also check the directories. So this command is similar to the command in Windows, and this is a Linux specific command to list the directories. Okay, so you have got the index.html over here. So I hope that's clear to everyone, and everybody has got to see that there is a file available over here. So let's open index.html in a text editor. So when I open index.html in a text editor, you can see that there is a web page in HTML, which is going to be an Apache 2 Debian default page. Okay, it's going to be a default page which is going to be displayed. So let us just quickly check whether are we able to access this page or not. In case if we are not able to access this page, then we will go to the firewall page and enable port number 80. So let's go for it. So now I'll quickly go back to my compute engine. I will quickly check the IP address 35.244.45.129. I would like to share this IP address with all the participants connected to me. So guys, please note this IP address 35.244.45.129 as of now, and you can quickly browse to this URL. So please check whether you guys are able to access this URL as of now. As of now, you may not be able to access it since there could be privilege, there could be issues with respect to firewall. So we are going to enable it. Since it is already enabled, I have already specified a rule. So you can see that we have got access to Apache2 Debian default page accessible. I've got a chat message. Let me just quickly check. So yes, we have got a message. We can access it. That's great. You can access it 35.244.45.129. Moreover, those people, those who have created their own virtual machine, and if you guys are not able to access your page, then there is one option which you guys have to do. So please understand that option as well. So in case if you are not accessible, not able to access the Apache default page, then what we are going to do, we go to our virtual machine in that case, and we go to firewall option, wherein we quickly edit the network. So within your instance, house price prediction, you can quickly go to network interfaces. And within network interfaces, you can go to the default network option available over here. Let me just increase the size a bit so that you guys will be able to see. So what you need to do is you need to go to the default network. When you guys go to default network, within this default network, you're going to get virtual private client network details. Okay. In virtual private client network details, you can go to firewall rules. Within firewall rules, you have to create a new firewall rule. Let's quickly select the firewall rule. You have to add a new firewall rule. Since I have already added this firewall rule known as all port. So what you can do is you can quickly create a new rule known as all port rule, wherein you can allow all access to all the ports or to your desired ports. So you can select the default network. Priority is 1000. Let it be like this. Direction of the traffic is ingress, which means incoming. Egress means outgoing packets. We are going to allow all the connection requests which matches this port rule. And then you have to select the specified targets. So you can select all the instances in the network, or else you can select the filter with HTTP server. Then you have to specify the source IP range. Since you want to allow all kinds of people to access your server, which means people from any IP address should be able to access your virtual machine. So as to access your application, you should always specify 0.0.0.0/0 subdomain. So this actually means for everyone. So this generally in networking terms, it means allow everyone to access your server. So this means allow everyone to access your web application or to whatever resources /resources. Okay. So guys, as you see here, within the source IP ranges, you have to define 0.0.0.0/0. Now, once you have done this, there is one more option. You can quickly go down here. In case if you want to specify custom options, you can see that you can define one single port like 20 visible here, or you can define a range from 50 to 60, or else from 1 to 65,565. Because as you all know, source port are of 16 bits, destination port are of 16 bits. And if you compute 2 raised to the power 16, you're going to get 65,536 as the value. So total number of ports which are possible ranges from 0 to 65,535. In case if you want to give access to all the protocols and ports, you can quickly click allow all and they can be done. Moreover, you can specify your TCP connections. So you can select TCP, you can define, let's say I would like to give access to port number 80, or else I want to give access from port 1 to 1000. So you can specify rules this way also. Okay. But majorly, I would rather prefer to go for the allow all option as of now. When it comes to security of your machine, you have to be very specific about what all protocols and ports you are enabling in. Okay. So it's always a good idea to understand about the ports and protocols of network so that you can have a secure virtual machine. So your application stays secure, because In today's environment, security is one of the major concerns. So in case if you want to understand how we should configure security, you can always refer to Center for Internet Security benchmarks for allowing protocol and port security for Ubuntu server, Windows server, and various other. So the resource is Center for Internet Security benchmarks. You can always access for cyber security of your virtual machines on cloud platforms. Refer Center for Internet Security benchmarks. Okay, so these are step-by-step guides which help you enable and disable the options to implement security of machines. Moreover, it offers security benchmarks for Android mobile phones, for iOS mobile phones, and for every kind of individual device which gets connected to internet or to the network, which is susceptible to hacking. There are generally benchmarks available for all the latest operating system versions as well as for the devices. So guys, that's a great source of information which you can access. Now, so you can download the PDF files and you can keep your devices, mobile phones, and computer applications, as well as your operating systems and servers secure. Now, let me just quickly take you back. Let's quickly create this firewall rule. So it's always a good idea to keep a firewall rule active so that you will be able to access your web application. Now, so once the firewall rules have been added, you can see that there will be an all port ingress will be added to the port, and all the protocols and ports have been allowed for all the IP ranges. Okay. Now, since I have already specified this rule, we are able to access this web page. So guys, I hope everybody is able to access this web page. There are a few queries on my chat. Let me just quickly check in case. So here I have got Kashif Javed Loan said, yes, I can access it. All good online too. That's great, guys. So now it's time to get started with B configuration for our machine learning in Python, which is pretty important now. Okay. So now what would be the next step? So let's just quickly check back with the image. So here we are done with all these steps wherein we are ready with apt-get update, installation of Apache servers, and we got access to the Apache applications. Now I'm going to install Anaconda with Python 3.7 and I'm going to update it. I'm going to connect it with our web server, with our Apache web server and PHP application. Let's go for it now. To do this, here, for Center for Internet Security, after this, let's get started with the next step. So what you do need to do to enable processing of machine learning models coded in Python, let's install Anaconda Navigator. Let's install Anaconda. So what you have to do is you have to go to this website, www.anaconda.com. Okay, let's go to this website, www.anaconda.com. So all the guys, please open this URL, www.anaconda.com. So I will also open that on my machine because we need to install Python with machine learning libraries, which are easily accessible through Anaconda distribution. So you can quickly go to www.anaconda.com. And when you reach to this website, at the very top, there is an option to download Anaconda Navigator. Okay. So here, as you all can see, there is an option to download. So let's click on this download option. So when you go to download, it gives you a lot of options like, would you like to go for installation with Windows, Macintosh, or Linux? Windows, Mac, or Linux. Since we have used Google Cloud Platform and we got access to Linux operating systems there, and majorly Linux is quite used when it comes to server-side application. So what you can do is you can always select the Linux operating system so as to get the desired version of Python 3.7 version, the latest one, because it will be having all the latest libraries available for machine learning, which will be very helpful for your projects. So let me quickly go to the mouse section. I click on Linux option here. When I go for Linux, so here you are going to get Anaconda 2018.12 for Linux installer, and you can quickly download that. So guys, here is one thing to note. So you need to check whether your machine is 32-bit enabled or a 64-bit enabled machine. So since our machine is x86, x64, 64-bit machine, so you can quickly use up this option, 64-bit x86. And depending on your operating system type, you can quickly select which installer you would be needing in. Okay. Now, so we will directly go to this download option. I will quickly go to this download option. And what am I going to do? I'm going to right click and copy the link address. Okay. So you all can see that I'm going to copy the link address from here, and directly I'm going to download this on my Google Cloud server. So let's copy link address. Once you have done copying the link address, let's quickly go to our cloud virtual machine here. So I will go to my home directory, which is Yash Cloud 24 Price project. And now I'm going to download Anaconda Navigator. So there is a command known as wget. Okay. And let me show you the manual of wget if it's available. So wget is a command which I will be using in, which is known as the non-interactive network downloader. Wget is a free utility for non-interactive download of files from the web. Non-interactive means you're not going to get a progress kind of a graphical user interface, but you can download it as a non-interactive installer, and it supports HTTP, HTTPS. You can also download files from FTP and through HTTP proxies, and there are so many options available. So as you have already seen the wget manual, now let's use wget, and I'm so sorry. So just give me a moment. Let us just copy. So in Google Cloud, when you select certain text, it automatically gets copied. So I need to copy the download link again. So use wget, go to your Python 3.7 version, copy link address from anaconda.com/distribution, and specify the URL. So as you all see here, we're going to download our Anaconda Navigator from this URL, repo.anaconda.com from archive, and Anaconda 3 2018.12 version, and sh file will be downloaded. Okay, let's go for it. So guys, let's download it. So if you all have noted this information, wget https repo.anaconda.com, you will be able to download it. Let's press enter, and here the download begins. So you see, tentatively, this percentage of Anaconda navigation has been installed. And we are going to have a 653 MB installation done. So 653 MB has tentatively been done in 18 seconds with a speed of 48.5 MB per second. So that's the beauty of cloud platforms. They offers you faster internet connections so as to quickly deploy your projects easily, and you can make use of great computing power. Now, so once you have got your installation done, let's quickly list, and you see Anaconda has been installed. Now, when you install anaconda.sh, now you need to understand that it needs an unarchiver. That is, you need to install bzip so as to extract the Anaconda shell, Anaconda file. So I can do that in advance, but so that you guys understand it better and you should not land up into errors in future. So I'm going to go with the regular approach, that how we generally approach towards installation. Okay. So whatever errors coming in, I'll be explaining them so that you guys will get a clear-cut idea that what all actually happens and what all has to be avoided in order to set up a new project on Google Cloud. So guys, let's go here and let's quickly see. So generally what we do, we use bash and we define Anaconda file which you need to install in. It's always a good idea to run this installation with super user privileges. So always try to specify sudo if you are not root. So if you are a limited user and if you see dollar prompts here instead of hash, so it's always a good idea to use run as super user when you install Anaconda. Okay, let's go for it. So let's quickly enter sudo bash Anaconda. So now it asks you to press enter and continue to the installation process. It is going to show you a license agreement, which you need to press enter and select. So let's enter it. Now you have to press enter again and again until and unless you read the complete license agreement. Once you are ready with reading the license agreement, then you have to specify, do you accept the license agreements or not? So generally, there is no option. You have to say yes. So here we are going to specify the license terms as yes. So let's go for it. Let's type in yes at the very bottom of my screen. You can see that I have specified yes. And once I am done with this option yes, I press enter. So when I press enter, now it asks me, Anaconda will now be installed into this location. By default, it installs in root Anaconda 3. So here is a catch which you guys need to be sure of as of now. So by default, it is going to install Anaconda Navigator in root installation, but you should avoid that because you are going to allow access to Anaconda Navigator Python execution to the users who will be coming into the web application and who will be performing machine learning on your application. So we need to change this location so that our worldwide web users will also be able to get those privileges to execute the Python scripts, whatever is scheduled with the machine learning model. So we need to specify a different location, and I'm going to tell you what location would suit you best for installation. So guys, so let's have a look here. So it's always a good idea to go for the opt directory. And within that opt directory, you can go for an installation of Anaconda. Okay. So I've defined this directory /opt/Anaconda. So within my within my / directory, which is the main directory, there is a directory known as optional for all the users. It is applicable for all the users. That's the beauty. So even web users will be able to access it, and the other users like root and local users will also be able to access OPT directory. So it's always a good idea to install Anaconda in OPT directory, and let's press enter. So when we press enter, it started installation, but somehow it will give you an error that bzip is not found. Okay. So guys, as you can see that here, bunzip command was not found. So you need to install bzip in your machine so that you can extract Anaconda and you can install it. So to do that, let's quickly complete that process. So what am I going to do? I'm going to clear the statement, and let me just type that over here to install bunzip2. So use the following commands. So here is the command sudo apt get install bzip2. That's the command you guys need to use in order to install bunzip. So let's go ahead. Let's install bzip2. Now when I write here sudo apt get install bzip2, so you are going to get bunzip2 installed in your machine. Now we are done. Now you need to focus on one thing. Earlier we executed bash Anaconda 3, but this time it won't work because you are updating the installation directory. Already OPT Anaconda has been created. So there is a catch here. You should always use -u option to update the installation. Okay. So it's always a good idea to use -u option now in order to update your Anaconda installation. So that will be easy for all of you to observe. Just quickly specify bash Anaconda 3 with -option u. and get started with the installation process. So when you start, it asks you to continue, then it asks you to accept the license agreement. Once you accept all the license agreement, you have to specify yes. And once you are done with accepting, let's specify yes. It will ask you the location, define /opt/Anaconda. And it's always a good idea that you should have used sudo option, which I think I forgot this time. So again, we need to update it. So let's type in opt Anaconda. So it says cannot open files. So that's why you need super user privileges. Okay. So you can see that it cannot open these files because these file exists, and that's due to the super user privileges. It's always a great idea to use sudo while installation. So let me clear that. Let me type in sudo bash Anaconda installation and update. Okay. So I hope you guys are able to see that now. We are going to use this command sudo bash Anaconda 3 with -u option. Press enter. Enter, accept all the license terms. Once you have accepted all the license terms, just simply press yes, specify the path opt/Anaconda, and you will be done with installation. So press enter. Now this time you will see your processes will get reinstalled. So all the installations which have been done earlier will now be reinstalled this time. So the reinstalling started, and you are going to get an updated installation of Anaconda Navigator. So by the time, guys, if you have any question, please ask me. I will be responding to your questions. Just please ask me your questions in case if there is any. If you guys are responding if you guys are implementing with me, and if you are facing any issues, please ask me. So as of now, you guys see you are ready with Anaconda installation process. It's undergoing now, and then you will be connecting your Anaconda installation with your Python model. Online participants, those who are available with us on Facebook, please ask queries in case if there is any query as of now. All the participants, those who are connected with me online on my Zoom meeting, Ravi, Akansha, Sanika, Agam, Himanshu, Hussein, if there is any query, please ask me. Are you guys executing along with me? Are you doing pair programming? So it would be more pair if we would have been working on the same copy. But as of now, since I'm using the demonstration copy, so we all will be having an individual copy of the code, which we will be collaborating using Google Collaboratory. Okay. So guys, if there is any question, please ask me. Am I audible to everyone? Just acknowledge me if my voice is clear to you all. Okay. So by the time the installation goes up, let me just speak to you a little about the memberships and all the things which are happening with Hackwitha Canada and Hackwitha India as of now for data science essentials. So by the time it gets installed, let me just quickly take you up to a quick thing. So all the guys, those who are interested to learn data science essentials with us, we have a latest offer available with 85% off on data science essential course. So you guys can join Hackwitha Canada or else Hackwitha Noida, all the trainings of data science essentials at just INR 5900. So sorry. Okay, guys. So here you can join Data Science Essential course. I guess it's worth 660 Canadian dollars, which is available at just $108. So you can become a member to learn Python for data science. There is an easy admission process for this. So you can register your name here on this URL. Once you guys register here on gwo.glsxulev, so this is the registration link. When you go out to this registration link on our website, hackweather.ca or hackweather.in, you guys will be able to access the registration portal. By the time, let me just quickly guide you there. So all the participants, those who are connected with us live online, can quickly reach out to this URL shown in the registration link in the descriptions. You can specify in your name, your email ID, and your mobile number, and you can get started with joining our Data Science Essentials weekday program organized from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. regularly in a Zoom meeting. So guys, that's going to be an awesome opportunity for all of you, those who will be joining in. So you can reach out to this URL. The URL is already available in the description. Once you register, one of the Hackweather's representative will definitely get back to you. He will get connected to you and he'll help you out with the admission process and other queries. This includes a membership for certain duration, and we will be covering Python for data science and data science essentials program in it. So the links to this is also available. There is one more program which we are planning to add in, which is developing AI and machine learning algorithms. So you guys will also get access to that. The duration for this started February 4, and it will last up till April 5, 2019. So we are generally organizing it on we are organizing weekly on weekdays from Monday to Friday, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, and 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there are certain benefits to it. So you will be getting data science essential certifications from Hackweather India, as well as you will get industrial project internship experiences with us. You will get recommendation letters from Hackweather Limited Canada, so as to have a recommending career ahead in data science. And one of the best feature is curated talk to mentor query support. You all will get those who are admitted with our community of data science essentials and machine learning. So what all projects you're working in case if you run a business and you want to derive insights to it, and if you want to drive your business with the insights, so this opportunity is an awesome opportunity for all of you to become a member of Hackweather community, and let us have a healthy discussion on the projects, and you can quickly convert your insights and your business opportunities into great products and make your profits maximized. So a lot of options are there, and you can quickly reach out to this information on our facebook.com/hackweathercanada page. So if you have any queries later related to taking admissions to the community, it's always a good idea to go to hackweather.ca, hackweather.canada. All the participants, those who belong to Indian region, can always go to hackweather.in. You guys can quickly reach out to talk to mentor option. You can specify your name, email, mobile phone, start chat, and you can quickly have a discussion with the mentors and to get started with your admission process. Moreover, I've got one more chat. So please ask people to use talk to mentor. Okay, guys. So in case if your registration link is not working somehow, then you guys can reach out to hackweather.ca and quickly post your query on talk to mentor. We will help you out with the admission and registration process. And you can also send us your information on WhatsApp or else on Facebook Messenger. So we'll do the registrations for you. So we have made this admissions open, and our people will connect back to you in order to help you out with the process. Let me have a quick check in order to show you the event invite page. So you can always browse to hackweda.ca/events option as well, wherein you will get access to the site. And I have already got 4 membership options here. So 4 people, Sunil, Shubham, Shrikant. I have got certain admissions here. So guys, you can quickly take up Data Science Essentials weekday course event. So the link is pre-working, and just try to have register yourself on that so that you get access to the community. So let's get back to the content here. So now it asks me a message. Do you wish the installer to initialize Anaconda 3? So we say yes. We want access to the bash RC file. So now we are done with installation of Anaconda. Now generally, it will ask you that once you're done with the installation of Anaconda, would you like to go with Microsoft VS Code for writing your applications? So as of now, no, we don't need Microsoft VS Code. We will be coding our Python models in Google Collaboratory, and we will be coding our web applications using designmodo. So we don't need Microsoft VS Code as of now. So let's click no, and we are all done. So guys, now if you see, you are done with the installation of Anaconda on your machine. And in order to run Python version 3, you can quickly check back the Python 3 from opt/Anaconda directory. So now if you go to opt Anaconda directory, you can see that your Anaconda installations are done. And from your bin directory, if you access Python 3, these are the commands which will be accessible using Anaconda Navigator. And if we type in Python 3 here, so you will be able to see Python latest version has been installed in our machine. So we have got a Python installation version 3.5.3 as of now when I clicked on this download. And you can execute your Python scripts here in case if you want. But what we will be doing we will be integrating our our house price prediction model, and we will be running that with Python 3. So to do that, let's go for it. So as of now, I'll exit from the prompt and I would be doing a little more important stuff to integrate my model with a web application. That's what we will be doing. So guys, as of now, if you see, you all are connected with Google Cloud Platform and you have got access to Anaconda Navigator. Now let's browse to the directory cd/var www.html. Now, once you are here in this directory on index.html, now what you guys can do is you can connect this index.html file with your machine learning model. Okay. So we have to do that. We have to get some information from the index.html file and we have to integrate that with our Python machine learning model. Now, to do this, what exactly I'm going to do? First of all, let's just check whether our server is able to execute the model or not. So now what we are going to do, check is server able to execute Python. Okay. So what I'm going to do, first step is write a simple code in Google Collaboratory and read Python data set for house prices. Okay. So the data set is available on this URL, http://systec/housing-modified.csv. So you guys can quickly access the data set from here, and we are going to write a simple Google Collaboratory code. Okay. Second step will be test the code in Google Cloud Platform. Then the third step, write a web application and show Python code. Or let's say we are going to do execute Python model script with PHP page. These are the 3 steps we will be doing it. Okay, so let's go for it. It's going to be pretty quick. You can quickly do that. Google Collaboratory is available on this website, collab.research.google.com. So guys, you can quickly get started with a new notebook on collab.research.google.com and you can get started with the code. So how we are going to do? Let's have a look. So I'm taking you back to the instance here, wherein we will have our server available. Now, let me just quickly take you to collab.research.google.com. You need to sign in with your account. Once you sign in with your account, you can quickly get started with a notebook. So I'm going to start with a new Python 3 notebook. I click over new Python 3 notebook here. Let's start with a new Python 3 notebook, wherein we are going to read our housing data set and we are going to quickly test. Okay. So let's call it as configuration check script for GCP. And what I'm going to do, let's say read the housing data set. That's what I need to do. So let's import pandas as PD. Pandas is your package and PD is an object of that library pandas, which can help you create 2-dimensional size mutable data frames. And using pandas, we're going to read CSV and we're going to define the URL. Let's read it from HTTP www.hackwither.in/systec/housing-modified.csv. Okay. And we are going to read that into data. And let's say I'm going to print the data. Okay. Let's test run this file. So when I test run this file, just to make sure whether the URL is working, and if I get the data set here, the same data I would like to read on my Linux machine. Okay. So guys, as you see here, you have got a script coded here. Let's just quickly convert and download this file. Okay. So I'm going to call it as, let's say, model. Okay. This is going to be my model file. Or if you want, you can call it as test model as of now. We're going to have a house model file when we will be proceeding further. So I've renamed this notebook as test.model and I'll go to my file and I'm going to download it now. So let's go to file and download the py file. So if you see here, I can download the Python model written in Google Collaboratory. So I've clicked on download py. You have to keep this file and you can see that a 37-byte file of testmodel.py has been downloaded here. Okay. So this is the file which has been downloaded on your machine and you're going to access this file. So what am I going to do? Let me quickly check where it has been hosted. So I'll go to show in folder. So I've got this file test model available here. I'm going to use this test model with my program here. So I'll go to my server file and I'm going to upload this test model. So Google Cloud Platform offers you this option. At the top right, there is a settings option here using which you can upload file to your Google server from local machine. You can also download it using wget, which I have already told you. But in case if you want to upload it from your local machine, you can always do that. So let's click on upload file. Let's select testmodel.py. Let's open this file. When you open this file, you can see that this has been uploaded to a destination. Okay. So it doesn't matter which path has been opened here. The file will always be downloaded to your home directory. So again, you need to copy this file from the home directory to your HTML directory so that you can execute it from the web page. Okay. That's what we are going to do. Now, so to do that, let's go here. Let's go for sudo cp. I'm going to use cp command to copy my file from home, from this directory yashcloud24 with the name testmodel.py. And I'm going to save that into var www.html. So when I save this file, and if I check list command, so you can see that we have got this testmodel.py file downloaded on our machine, which is of 367 bytes. Okay. So guys, as you can see now, I have copied the file from, so sudo is to run as superuser, cp is to copy the file. This is the source from where we have to copy. So by default, when you upload it, the file got uploaded onto this URL. And then I have pasted that into this var www.html directory, which is my web directory from where I'm going to access my web application files. Okay, so the model has now been hosted onto the World Wide Web directory so that people will be able to access the model, or your web application can access the models. You can always keep it on secure places as well, but for the demonstration purposes, I'm keeping it here. Now, once you have got this model, let us just quickly test this model first. Let's see if this model can be executed on our Google Cloud Platform also. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to execute Python 3 from OPT directory, OPT, Anaconda, bin, Python 3. So use this Python 3 program from Anaconda directory and run your testmodel.py. Okay. So once we run opt anaconda bin and we do test model, so now you can see that. Great. So here you have got access to the data available from our house price dataset. So our house price dataset was hosted on a URL http www.hackwither.in/systech/housing modified. And now you can see that you can read the dataset from Google Cloud Platform. So this suggests that yes, my Python code is successfully executing on Google Cloud Platform. Okay. Now, so using Python 3, I have executed testmodel.py and the test model has given me this output. This data frame has been given to me. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to add in more parameters here in future so that I will get the model processing my information and I'm going to get the prediction done for the house price. Okay, guys, I hope you guys have understood till here. If there is any question as of now, you can quickly ask me. Now to take you further, let's just quickly clear the statement and let me show you the script code in testmodel.py. So within testmodel.py, we have this code written. So this is the IPYNB file, which has been generated through collab.research.google.com. And I have written these 3 lines. Import pandas as PD, read the CSV file. So we have read the data from the CSV file, house modified.csv, and you have printed the data. Okay. So now you can see that the file which you have executed testmodel.py has been executed with your shell, with the command prompt. Now the objective is I want this information to be executed from the web page initially. Okay. So I want as soon as you guys will come to this URL, when you guys will be browsing to 35.244.45.129, I would like to show you the data which is coming in from my Python code. Okay, that's what I want to display. So let's go for it. Initially, let's quickly check. So now this time what we are going to do, we are going to integrate PHP with Python. Okay. So before proceeding to that step, let me just quickly recall. You have gone to collab.research.google.com. You have got access to the data set on Collaboratory from Housing Modified. Then you have tested that Python code is actually working on Google Cloud Platform using Python 3 command. You have tested that. Now you're going to check the model script execution with a PHP page. Okay, that's what we will be doing it. So I'm going to create a PHP page, and using that PHP page, I'm going to execute that script. Okay. To execute these scripts, there is a function in PHP known as system, and you can execute your commands using the system function. Okay, so we are going to use that. So guys, let's understand how we are going to do that. By the time, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to post your questions on comments, and you can quickly get answers to your questions. Let's see. So I have got a chat message. Let me just respond. So I have got one message. Okay, that's a thanks message. Who's sending thanks? I didn't get that. Great. So I've got one more message. Mohan Vignesh Gopal Raj. How can I know how to convert text file into a CSV? Dude, you can use write function. So in Pandas, we have the write function available through which you can quickly convert your data files into CSV. Moreover, if it is a tab separated file, you can pass in the separator. Instead of tab, you can convert that tab into a comma separator, and you can quickly save that into a CSV file using write function. So that's how you can quickly do that. There is an option. Moreover, you can directly read tab separated file. So you don't need to convert it into CSV. You can use pd.read CSV function, and within the separator option, you can define your thing like you can define the tab space. So let me just quickly give you an example how you can do that. So guys, before integrating that with PHP page, just an example to the query. So Gopal, you can use read CSV function. You can define the URL of your data set, whatever it is. Then you can define the separator. And within the separator, you can define /t, which is tab separated. So even if you have a tab separated text file, it will be read automatically with CSV, and you can quickly store that onto your data. That can be done. Okay. Or else you can quickly check the separator within your text file, and you can define that separator here. Now, so I think the questions has been answered, and let's continue with execution of Python model script with the PHP page. Now to do this, what we are going to do. Now I want this page to be changed, and I want my data frame content to be displayed over here. So when we reach to this PHP page or to this URL, it is going to connect with the Python model, and I'm going to get the response in return. So let me just quickly draw that for you in case if you guys need that, or else I think it's pretty easy so that you will be able to understand. Let's see. So let me take you here. So now, as of now, you can see that I have an index.html already ready. So I'm going to remove it first. rm-rf index.html. Okay. And do that with super user privileges. So this means remove index.html. Okay. So I'm removing index.html as of now. And after removing, I'm going to write my new code. So once I have removed index.html, okay, now I'm going to recreate it. So I'll write sudo nano index.php, let's say. I'm going to create a PHP file, which is going to be my first file, which will be accessed as soon as you guys will be accessing my server hosted on the IP address. And to code PHP, we need to define PHP hyper preprocessor. So guys, as you already know, PHP is a hypertext preprocessor language. So we write the code within these preprocessors. So this is the preprocessor which identifies that PHP code has started, and this identifies that the PHP code has ended. So we have to specify our PHP codes here. So this is all about lexical analysis, that how these symbols are treated. So you can reach out to us for a compiler design session wherein we can have a discussion on how these symbols are actually read with lexical analysis using regular expressions and how they are converted into tokens and what is the meaning of each and every semantics which has been written. So you can do learn with us. But let me keep my scope limited to writing a PHP code with integration with model. So to do that as of now, I can quickly execute that script with one single step known as system. You can quickly specify system command, and within system command, you can define the path. So from the OPT path / Anaconda, okay. So it would be better if I write that here on Notepad because I think it's not visible by default on my color screen. So let me just copy that here. So I will be writing this system from this path / OPT / Anaconda / Python. Oh, that will be the bin directory. And from the bin directory, I will execute Python 3. And I will run this file testmodel.py, which has the code written to read the data frame, followed by I'm going to execute this testmodel.py by default, let's say, okay. And whatever output is going to be generated using testmodel.py, I would like to send all that output back to the input stream, okay. So this means that whatever output is generated out of execution of this command will be returned back to the system and will be returned back to the process who has been calling it. So PHP will be calling this process. So PHP is going to receive that output and PHP is going to display the output onto the web browser. Okay. So that's the statement which I will be using in as of now. Let me just copy that statement and let me specify that statement here. Okay, guys. So for your information, let me just quickly paste that information here. System OPT Anaconda bin Python 3 testmodel.py. In case if you are writing it, I give you some time so as to understand. So this is the file. This is the path from where we execute Python 3. This is the file which we execute. And this is for the output response. Okay. So once you guys have specified this information, now let me just quickly run it. So if I use Control O and save it, Control X. So as of now, I have these two files, index.php. When you reach to my browser, index.php will be executed and index.php will automatically connect to test.py file using system commands. It is going to read whatever output is generated by test model. And again, it is going to be received on index.php. Okay. So once it is received, you're going to get the display. So now let's test it. I go to Apache2 default page. Guys, what you all can do is now you can quickly refresh the web page and let me know what output you get. So this is the IP address. Just browse to this IP address again and quickly check what output you get. 35.244.45.129. Let me just run it here. So when I refresh it, so this time you see, I get the output in return on my web page. That is index.php. Price, lot size, bedrooms, air conditioning. Since we need to arrange this output, since the output is from console, we have to rearrange it to give it a tabular form and things like that. So what I will be doing is majorly, we are going to have a design page here wherein user is going to input his information. That information will go to the model. Model is going to receive that information and then it is going to predict on the basis of that information. So we will be predicting house prices. And once we are ready with the model, we will be integrating that with a website, with a web design, which we will be creating in a similar design, somewhat like our website. So you're going to get a machine learning based artificially intelligent website, which will be using Python machine learning models for prediction of data. I've got one message. Okay, so guys, that's all for the day. I guess everybody has got executed this code. Please acknowledge me on chat and on comments if you guys have got the output. In case if you need to have the script that is available on our page, so you can quickly seek your scripts with us on our hackweather.ca and hackweather.in website. Moreover, you can please like our page, follow, register, connect, and share. In case if you need any more information, please reach out to us on hackweather.in. Moreover, again, one more information. We are running 85% off offer on Data Science Essentials course. You can join Hackweather Canada as well as Hackweather India at just INR 5900 or Canadian $108. So that's a membership price, which you can take up a membership of approximately 4 to 5 months with us, wherein you can learn complete data science course as specified in our Python for Data Science and Data Science Essentials course curriculum. So you can become a member for a duration of February to April, which is like a couple of months, like 2 to 3 months, you can become a member and get ready with Data Science Essentials, and you will be ready with making products, web products and mobile application products, which are artificially intelligent and machine intelligent. Moreover, since you are joining us as a community, you will get this benefit of discussing your projects with us, wherein we can help you drive insights out of the data sets which you guys have and transform it into making a product. So all that can be done. Moreover, our training sessions will be organized weekly on weekdays from Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time and 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The benefits for people who will be taking admissions with us will get certifications accredited from American National Accreditations Board, which is a worldwide certification. The certifications are also accredited from International Accreditation Forum and International Standardizations Organization. So the certifications which you earn are pretty valuable certification, which are recognized in the industry, as well as you will get industrial project experience as well as industrial project internship with Hackweather Limited. And in order to get curated talk to mentor query support, it's always a good idea to take up the membership of the community. So guys, in case if you have any queries, reach out to us on our website, and the direct handle to reach out to us is hackweather.in, hackweather.ca. All the participants, those who are internationally available and connected to our video series, can quickly access hackweather.ca. Moreover, please join us, our Facebook handle, facebook.com/hackweathercanada, to identify all the previous videos which we have organized on data science. And you can also reach out to us on facebook.com/hackweather. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Feel free to give us valuable reviews, recommend us on Facebook, and if there is any question, feel free to reach out to us on Talk to Mentor. Thank you so much for the day.